So very quickly before we start, full spoilers ahead for the entire movie. I also purchased it on DVD because there is an alternate ending, so I will be covering the alternate ending when I go ahead and watch Happy Death Day to You. So enjoy the video. I really don't like time loop movies. Hey, what's up everyone? I finally watched Happy Death Day. This movie has been out for 3 years now, and I've put it off because I genuinely cannot stand time loop movies, and there is a few exceptions because I really loved The Endless. I thought that movie was well done, but this movie kind of solidified the fact that I really don't like time loop movies, and instead of giving you my full review, I thought I would present my review to you while reading the notes that I took while watching the movie because, yeah. So, Happy Death Day is a 2017 horror mystery thriller. I genuinely did not find this movie scary whatsoever. But if I were to see this movie when I was like 15, 16 on a Friday night with all of my friends at the theater, I think it would have been a really good time. I just think target audience. This movie has a runtime of 1 hour and 36 minutes and it is PG-13, which is probably why I didn't find it too scary. So if you guys don't know, the main synopsis of the film is a college student must relive the day of her murder over and over again in a loop that will end only when she discovers her killer's identity. Okay, let's get into my notes here because I took a lot. It was a roller coaster ride for me. So one thing I will say is that in the beginning opening scene, the movie does a really great job of kind of establishing all of the things, the obstacles, the people that she will have to encounter every time the loop resets. Take one down. One of the first characters you were introduced to kind of allude you to being a killer, might be a killer, is Tim. And the only reason why I thought he would have been a killer is because she told him,
"It's not like you have a foot long."
The ringtone, her birthday ringtone, makes me want to smash her phone into a million pieces. It's my birthday! I expected In Da Club by 50 Cent to be playing in the movie at some point at least, because that's how the movie was advertised. Anyways, I also wrote nurse friend could be the killer because the nurse's uniform makes her sketchy. We will come back to that. And then I wrote, is Gregory the killer, her teacher? I was just out here speculating everyone out here is being a murderer. And then I wrote that she's kind of garbage, but I'm really happy that the movie resolved that. One of the notes that I took that stands out to me is, it feels like a big budget Hollywood horror cash grab. And what I say by that is, Hollywood. Like people tend to release horror movies in the vein of a horror movie that aren't actually scary or that actual true horror fans won't find scary, but it's more of, like I said in the beginning, a Friday night kind of teenager going to the movie cash grab. The first jump scare in the whole movie was so predictable, you knew it was coming. If you look around, I didn't mention this earlier, but if you look around in the beginning of Carter's bedroom, he has really awesome posters on the wall, such as They Live and Repo Man, and I kind of think those are fitting to the theme of the movie. So, 14 minutes in, the loop resets, and I thought that was pretty good pacing, but I'll call this time loop reset, the first one, confusion. One of my favorite lines in the whole movie comes out of this, this scene right here, where her roommate says,
I'm totally having deja vu right now.
Oh, I have it all the time. It's supposed to mean like someone's thinking about you while they're masturbating. I have it at least 5 times a day.
Yeah, she said that. Once again, I wrote Gregory is definitely the killer.
That's kind of a buzzkill.
I also wrote, this isn't even a horror movie and the killer has man hands. My approach to when I do this is I just write the first thing that comes to my head as I'm watching the movie so that I can go back and kind of feel how I felt in the moment. It really threw me off with the killer reveal, so that I will applaud the movie for that. I'm still wondering at this point, like we're not even a half an hour in, where are the horror elements? At 25:56, her roommate has an incredible laugh.
I really am.
At 28:01, the Pleasure Dome.
Welcome to the Pleasure Dome.
29 minutes in, the second loop starts. And my favorite death of them all, death by bong. Now this loop I like to call the panic loop. Here I also wrote any horror element in this movie literally gets broken up by comedy or drama, and it does. I once again wrote, at 35:54, the fourth time loop starts, and this is the last one that I kept track of because the loops just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming and coming, and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. You get it. And then we find out the killer is definitely not Tim.
Yes! Yes, Gaga, you look so good. Oh my God, yes!
It's also definitely not Gregory, so process of elimination here, people. And here I wrote, how is there 45 minutes left in this movie? Because it kind of dragged a little bit. For a time loop movie, it definitely dragged. Parking lot scene, the parking garage scene was my favorite by far for intensity. I think it was the most intense scene in the movie. And then we find out the murder is an unrelated character that we have no idea about. We don't even know anything about him. He's the murderer, it's definite. But wait, there's more. My second instinct was right. And it was her nurse friend. I was right with, sometimes you just can't trust the nurses, okay? But does she actually have man hands? The Groundhog Day kind of quote at the end, how she didn't know what Groundhog Day was or who Bill Murray was. I think that was really funny and very clever. And then my overall review here, I wrote, it was a decent movie. It was decent. It was watchable. It definitely wasn't a horror. It wasn't a horror movie. It had elements of horror sometimes, very rarely, but it was definitely more of a comedy, thriller, time loop mystery. That's what I would label it as. I also wrote that just because there was a few jump scares doesn't mean it's a horror movie, and that was my sass coming out, probably because I'm hangry. But should I watch part 2? Happy Death Day to you. Let me know. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and let me know as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hang out, watch some more videos, and I'll see you next time. Sayonara, suckers.